All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Rams. Now, guys, they've won 5 out of their last 6 games. They are doing quite literally everything right, especially offensively. And what Sean McVay has done to this football team, if they make the playoffs, which I certainly think they will, he should be coach of the year. They are controlling the trenches with a second-year Notre Dame legend in Kyren Williams. He's missed 4 games, and he's still one of the best running backs in the league statistically. Cooper Kupp missed some time. Matthew Stafford was banged up. They're doing, seriously, everything right, especially offensively. They're a top 10 offense. Guys, their left tackle's literally undrafted. Their left tackle's undrafted. They're controlling the trenches. They're not turning the ball over, and they have great coaching. With a top 10 offense, I don't want to play this team. And with San Francisco losing to Baltimore this past weekend, I actually think there's a case to be made that the Los Angeles Rams are one of the hottest teams and one of the most explosive teams in this league now, or in the NFC rather. Now, I will say, there's moments where the game's close, and it just simply is because the Rams have holes. The Los Angeles Rams, this was a rebuilding season. At the start of this season, they were projected like 4 or 5 football wins, and we started noticing this in the offseason where it was like, hold on, they had a phenomenal draft, and they had double-digit draft picks in the rookie class. And if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, and you still have Sean McVay, and if Aaron Donald can stay healthy, if Ernest Jones can stay healthy, and most importantly, Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, if those guys can stay healthy and do their thing, well, the Rams will probably win 9 football games. And they're sitting here at 8-7 with 2 games left, the New York Giants and then the San Francisco 49ers. And I think this team's going to make the playoffs. And so we're going to talk about this team, but obviously before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. It's been way too long since my last Rams video. I do apologize. If we could try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. We're going to start cranking these out here as the season comes down to a close. But, I think last Thursday night was a really good example of just how highly potent this offense is. I mean, they have weapons everywhere offensively. And a lot of these guys are players people just didn't expect and they didn't anticipate to have the seasons they're having. So obviously we got to start it off with MVP Matthew. He's not the MVP. He's not going to win the MVP, but he certainly is still a phenomenal quarterback at 35 years old. Over 3,600 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. We have to remember this was an offensive line heading into the season. Once again, their left tackle is literally undrafted. We have to remember their offensive line was supposed to be god-awful. I mean, they were supposed to be a horrid offensive line this season, and that's just not been the case. They're not the best offensive line in the league, but Matthew Stafford, when he's given time, which he's been given time, is going to make defenses pay, and that's what he's done. But I think, oh my goodness gracious, the worst cough in the world. We're going to keep going here. Anyways, Matthew Stafford, my apologies, I don't know what happened there. Anyways, you have 2 7-7 teams going on, right? The Saints and the Rams heading into last Thursday. One team was clearly better, and it wasn't the New Orleans Saints. And even though the final score 30-22 is technically close, I mean, it was 17-7 at halftime. It was 27-7 heading into the fourth quarter. Once again, the Rams aren't perfect, but watch out for this cap space that they have this upcoming year and another great draft. I mean, this team is right back to the Super Bowl level that they were. But anyways, Matthew Stafford, 24-34, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's throwing to 3 players, and then you have Tyler Higbee, who's still reliable. But this past week, Puka Nacua, 9 catches, 164 yards, and a touchdown. Now, we know that Puka can play. But what Sean McVay is doing with all of these young players, specifically on offense, is he's getting the most out of these guys. So Puka Nacua is a capable wide receiver in this league. But keep in mind, he's a rookie, and he's got 2 games left, and he has 96 catches for over 1,300 yards. I mean, that's unheard of. What Puka Nacua is doing, and people are obviously talking about Puka, and they're talking about the Rams, but It's hard to really wrap my head around like just how dominant and effective Puka Nakua has been. And it's not only going to be for this year, the dude's a rookie. So the future is extremely bright there. And then you have Cooper Cup, and Cooper Cup is Cooper Cup when he's healthy, obviously. Demarcus Robinson, very interesting player. He's had a touchdown in 4 straight games. And so we pair all of those 3 players up with our QB, Matthew Stafford, our offensive coach, and Sean McVay. We're going to throw Tyler Higbee in there, of course. We're going to pair all that up with Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams is on an absolute tear. 22 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown last week against the Rams. That's now 3 straight games he's rushed for over 100 yards, and that's now 5 out of 6 games he's rushed for over 100 yards. And that one game he didn't reach the century mark. He had 88 rushing yards for an average of 4.2 yards per carry and a touchdown against probably the best defense in the AFC, definitely the best defense in the AFC in the Cleveland Browns. So he's a second-year player. So once again, we allude back to, yes, the Los Angeles Rams, if they win out, they're going to make the playoffs. Now that Week 18 matchup against San Francisco, considering they just lost to Baltimore, that game certainly means a lot more as they try to hold on to that number 1 seed. But if the Rams finish at least 9-8, if they make the playoffs, it actually doesn't even matter. Because to me, they're one of, if not the most deadliest teams in the NFC right now, the way this offense is playing. And we haven't even mentioned the defense. The defense is so young, and guys are just stepping up. You got guys like Ernest Jones, who's just a star linebacker in this league. He's done such a phenomenal job all season. I still have Aaron Donald. They've got a bunch of young bucks who are just stepping up on a week-to-week basis. It really reminds me of the Kansas City Chiefs last year, where you have this dominant offense, and you have a really young, unexperienced defense. A lot of rookies, a lot of new faces. But I still have my key player on my defensive line. I still have my key player in the linebacker room. And I've got Jordan Fuller. I've got Taylor on the secondary side. Don't be surprised if they make a playoff run. If this team makes the playoffs, you do not want to play them. But if they make the playoffs, they probably win at least one playoff game. And the special teams is a concern, and the young defense is a concern. But folks, with the way they drafted this past year, the way they've all kind of always drafted, with the cap space that becomes available, the Rams might be back to their Super Bowl dynasty-esque self, that high-powered offense and defense that's greatly coached. They might be back to that next year and for many years to come. So it's great to be a Rams fan right now, but the future's looking as bright as ever. This whole organization deserves a round of applause regardless of how this season actually ends. So that's it for tonight. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you guys want more Rams videos, let me know down below. But Rams fans especially, NFL fans as well, let me know your thoughts down below. Is this team making the playoffs, and how far can they get in the NFC? So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you next time.